this opportunity to say something about the parents. This was actually my colleague Marina Merkas and me wrote a chapter in the book that you will hear more about it later. So this is our small contribution. But the very important thing when we talk about children, precondition to have healthy children and a safe environment for them is actually having safe and healthy parents, because parenting is really life-changing experience, and you usually come not very well prepared for that. So we, like Archbishop said yesterday, you need some education to have your driving license, but you entered the marriage and afterward you became a parent without any actually proper education, information, how to do that in the best possible way. So I will try to say some basic stuff about these contemporary changes in parenting, parental responsibility, competence and positive parenting, determinants of parenting, and what are actually the possible ways to support parents. So when we think about changes that affect families today, there is definitely women's increased economic roles. So we work more outside the family, which changes the roles inside the family also and needs more involvement of the father and many other actual members of the society, like our colleague said, Noemi. You had 4 adults taking care of one child, so it still takes a village to build a child up, but we usually have only 1 or 2 parents doing all the job. So fertility rates are declining, so we usually have less number of children. Like the professor said yesterday, it was great to hear 3 or 4 children, and more are actually a very protective factor of saving a marriage. But you usually only have 1 child, maybe 2, and so you are more focused on them, which actually turns into some parenting practices that are not on the long run very well. So we need more father involvement, and they are more involved in family duties and childcare. We have more paternity leave even for fathers, and like parental leave, not just for mothers but also for fathers. COVID pandemic and worldwide threats and wars also make the environment for children and from the parental perspective very insecure. So we try to overprotect them actually. The technology is rapidly developing, so we also search for some online community support instead of real-life support that we were engaged more in before. And sometimes this is a good thing to have also online community, but actually it very easily turns into a lot of talking and giving advices with not really evidence-based information on parenting. And it is also very evident in media and public debates. So because of all of this, we have turned a lot in this intensive, over-involved parenting, which has good intentions in the basis, but usually it actually declines autonomy and self-resilience of children because we don't give them responsibilities that are they need to have in accordance with their age and developmental stages. And today, in a world when we have so many opportunities and so many decisions that we have to make, when you don't feel self-efficacious to do that, and when you don't have the self-reliance on yourself, self-resilience, and actually the idea that you have some responsibilities and duties in life and that you have to take them, it makes it even more difficult for young people today to manage all the challenges that they are facing with. Parental mediation is also very needed in this digital era when we really need to know what our children are doing online and what are all the threats that they are exposed to. So this is also in a big way shaping parenting today and actually changing the roles in some way that parents have. When we talk about this parental responsibility, we have it all in the Convention of the Rights of the Child, and there are 3 components that are very important. So it must first be equally shared and agreed upon by both parents, this parental responsibility. Parents are largely held accountable for the safety and well-being of a child, and it must be given the child's best interests as the primary consideration. Although this parental responsibility is also a legal category and it's a right of parents to participate in decisions, we heard yesterday that in Great Britain, for instance, this parental responsibility and the view on it is actually very much changing. But this parental responsibility goes beyond legal obligations, and actually parents have a lot of roles in a child's life as authorities, providers, caregivers, protectors, and socializers. When we think about parental competence, it goes to that two main dimensions of parenting, so providing warmth and secure environment for the child, but at the same time having some boundaries the children have to have in order to have a healthy environment and to grow up well. So what we know about parental competence, that of course parental warmth, acceptance and sensitivity to children's basic needs in accordance with their developmental stage is crucial for building a safe zone and this emotional security and attachment that our colleagues talked about just a few minutes ago. And so strict, harsh and parenting that is very critical to the child is usually maladaptive for children's development. Although parental participation is not the same as parental ability to really take care of a child in a proper way, it is a precondition so you can have parental competences more developed when they want to participate and when they want to be involved. When we think about positive parenting, which is also a very important concept in this field, we actually think about the outcomes for a child. So this is usually connected to setting boundaries to enable the full development of the child in these different areas. So nurture, structure and guidance, recognition, empowerment, and nonviolent upbringing. This is just one of the models, but it's actually a very comprehensive model, Belsky's process model of parenting, when you can see what are main factors that actually affect parents and then child as well and children's development. So we became parents with our own developmental history and all the baggage that we got from our childhood and our socialization during the life. We have our personality, our traits that are also being evident in our communication styles, our actual relations with others. Marital relations are a very important basis for the parenting and for the family as well, because when something goes wrong in that partner relationship, it always spills over also on the relationship with the child. So this is also a thing that I think as a society we really should be working more on, that marital preparation to have really good foundations for a family and child development afterwards. So working conditions, parenting practices, our social network, how do we perceive support that we maybe won't use, but it's important that we have the perception that we have some people who will support us and give us some very practical insights and help when we need it. And of course, child characteristics also affect parents when children and parents aren't very well synchronized, when they are very different in their temperament and personality traits. It's actually more difficult for parents to provide for a child what he or she really needs when it's so hard to connect in a right way with the child. And there's also some children who are seen as with a more temperament that is hard to handle in a way that they don't sleep well, don't have like a very good routine. So it's more challenging for a parent to really set boundaries, and at the same time be enough nurture and warm and everything else the child needs. So when we think about parents, we can support them in many ways. On the individual level, we can do some things that is before the intervention, so we can have education programs for parents to really get them to know something about parenting skills, relationships, children's development, emotional, cognitive, and any other that Andrea also talked about. We can create parent support groups so they know that some things are very common in this stage of life and that all parents face the similar challenges, and it is perfectly normal to have this kind of problems at this stage of life. We can make more accessible mental health services. and counseling, and not to make it a taboo theme that something is wrong with you if you're searching for professional help. We can develop and implement more prenatal and postnatal support, as well as home visits for new mothers and fathers. And we can enable many educational resources and technology online. On a social level factors, which is in accordance with that Uri Bronfenbrenner theory that Anna mentioned, we can implement child protective services and family support agencies. So not just to make an intervention when violence happens, but also in a form of prevention. So to really have family-friendly policies, and when you have some families that are in risk, to make them obligate to also be part of that family programs, to enact more and to engage more and to learn more about different aspects of children's development. We can launch many public awareness campaigns on the parenting, and not just directed on a child and their needs, but also directed on the parents and their actually needs and roles that are very diverse today. We can develop and implement high-quality education and healthcare services for children. Sorry, we can provide professional training for the professionals, so educators, healthcare providers, social workers, psychologists, who are so they can develop in that field actually of parental stress and management and all the challenges that go together. And we can provide, of course, financial support. And then correlate that with the attendance of parental programs. And of course, which is very important from this scientific angle, to collect the data, to see what is actually working and what is doing the best result in our community, and what should be changed to make it better. So how can lawyers support parents, which was one of the big questions in this field. I think you know, those lawyers of you, all the things that, and the teams where you are needed. But I will say that that interdisciplinary cooperation is very much needed, not just between psychology and law, but I think that many of these questions will also have some bioethical issues and aspects, so many other disciplines could also offer some good advice and support in this field. So, to conclude, I will say that we can integrate different disciplines to ensure that children receive the necessary care support, and not just the children, but parents as well. We can develop programs and policies aimed at parenting, and we should recognize in it, although cultural differences and similarities across different communities in our countries, because it's not the same with what population and community you work with, and which are actually the social norms and expectations from the parents and children in that particular community. We should give parents support to really develop their parental competence and skills before legally taking their parental responsibility from them. So we as a society are in a way very much responsible for giving them opportunities to learn things that they, because of whatever reason during their childhood and adulthood, that they lack to do in order to develop the skills that are needed in good parenting. And we can try to collaborate and put much effort from the government and non-government sectors to educate about the importance of parenting and how to support parents as well. So thank you for your attention. This is it from me.